All right. So, we love it when you bring in some fresh material for us to dig into. And you've sent us some really fascinating stuff on Hora Lagna.
Yeah.
This is Vedic astrology. And for anyone who's not familiar,
Yeah.
it's basically like this special point in your birth chart. And I know we've got some serious astrology fans listening.
Yeah.
So we're going to assume you've at least heard of it, but we're going to take a deep dive today and really get to the core of what Hora Lagna reveals about your values, like what you truly consider important
Right.
and how that connects to wealth, but not just money, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about wealth in a much broader sense.
Absolutely. And you know what's really cool about the stuff you sent is that it emphasizes how Hora Lagna, or HL as we'll call it sometimes,
Yeah.
it's actually a divisional chart
Okay.
in Vedic astrology. So think of your main birth chart kind of like that big picture,
Got it.
And then the divisional charts are like these specialized lenses that you
Yeah.
can use to zoom in on specific areas of life.
Yeah.
And in this case, HL is all about our relationship with wealth and what we truly value.
It's like refining the focus,
Exactly.
like getting a clearer picture of what's important.
Absolutely. And what your sources point out is that it's significant, but sometimes it gets a little overlooked,
Yeah, it's like this hidden gem almost.
Yeah, it is. It's like this little secret weapon.
Okay, so then what does it actually tell us about those values and our relationship with wealth?
Well, the sources describe Hora Lagna as like the intellect of the second house.
Okay.
And we know in Vedic astrology, the second house is all about,
Wealth, possessions.
wealth, possessions,
Yeah.
values, right? All that good stuff.
Right.
So if the second house shows us what we possess, Hora Lagna is more about why those things, or even other things entirely,
Right.
really hold value for us.
It's like the motivation behind the possession.
Exactly. Like, think of it this way,
Okay.
the second house might show, a certain amount in your savings account, but
Yeah.
Hora Lagna is digging deeper into your individual concept of wealth.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So for one person, yeah, maybe that financial security is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone else, their HL might point to the value they put on knowledge, or the strength of their family bonds,
Yeah.
or the depth of their relationships, or even their spiritual progress.
Wow. So it's really personalized.
It is incredibly personalized.
And it's not just about the stuff you have, it's about what really matters to you.
Absolutely. And, that's something I think we can all relate to in some way.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, we all have those things that we cherish,
Absolutely.
that we hold dear. And that's really what HL is all about. It's about identifying those core values.
Okay, so the material you sent, it really emphasizes this deep emotional connection to our values.
Yeah.
It talks about the profound pain we experience.
Yes.
When we lose something we truly value, as seen through this lens of Hora Lagna, it's not just about the physical loss, right?
Absolutely not.
It's like this loss that cuts to the core of who we are.
It resonates with that deepest sense of what's important to us.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever experienced a loss?
Oh, of course.
That just felt like it shook your world. Like it wasn't just about the thing itself, but it was about what it represented.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it's really powerful to think about those moments in our lives.
Oh,
Those times when we've experienced a significant loss, and really ask ourselves, what was it about that loss that made it so impactful for us?
Right.
Because it's highly likely that what was lost was something that our Hora Lagna would identify as fundamentally valuable to us.
So it's like this roadmap to our emotional landscape in a way.
It is. It's like this internal compass that's guiding us towards what truly matters.
That's so cool. Okay, so let's start exploring what the sources tell us about how our core values kind of manifest in our lives, right?
Okay.
How are they expressed when Hora Lagna falls in different houses of the birth chart?
Sounds good.
So let's start at the beginning. What happens when a HL lands in the very first house?
Well, with Hora Lagna in the first house, the individual inherently values their physical appearance.
Okay.
Their personal health, their sense of self,
Uh-huh.
and their public image, how they are perceived.
So it's very much about the self.
Yeah, it's very self-oriented.
Okay.
And they tend to invest a lot of energy and resources into, self-improvement.
Okay.
Looking good, feeling their best, cultivating that personal brand.
Yeah.
And importantly, this placement is considered a natural dana yoga.
Okay, now what is Dana Yoga?
So in Vedic astrology,
Yeah.
Dana yoga refers to planetary combinations that indicate, potential for wealth.
Okay.
So in this case with HL in the first house, your very identity, your self-worth becomes kind of this primary driver for creating value and attracting opportunities.
So it's like yourself is the asset.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Okay, so what you project and how you present yourself becomes valuable
Right.
and potentially leads to financial gains just through your own effort.
Through your own efforts and initiatives.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, what about when Hora Lagna moves into the second house?
So if we connect this to the traditional associations of the second house, right?
Yeah.
Which is finances, family, immediate resources.
Yeah.
When Hora Lagna is placed here, the focus of value tends to be on those more conventional ideas of wealth.
Yeah.
Financial security, harmony within the family, fostering strong local community ties.
It's like a groundedness almost.
Yeah, it is. It's very grounded. It's about building that foundation.
Okay, so they probably prioritize like,
Stability.
saving money, being cautious with resources.
Absolutely. They're very cautious with their resources.
And what kind of careers might they be drawn to?
Well, they might naturally be drawn to fields like banking,
Makes sense.
real estate,
Yeah.
or even family-run businesses, where those values of stability and tradition are really paramount.
Yeah, it all kind of connects back to that second house energy.
It does. It's very much aligned with the second house.
Okay, so grounded and focused on security. All right, what happens when Hora Lagna is in the third house? Now, this house is often linked to communication,
Right.
our immediate surroundings.
Exactly. And with HL in the third house, communication skills,
Okay.
acquiring knowledge,
Yeah.
and being able to build that strong network of contacts.
Okay.
All those things become highly valued.
So it's all about connection?
Yeah, connection and information,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they often invest in their education,
Okay.
books, resources that expand their understanding.
Makes sense.
And they thrive in those stimulating environments where they can learn and share information.
So they're like the lifelong learners.
They are. They're curious. They love to absorb new things.
Yeah.
What kind of careers might we see them in?
Yeah.
Well, you might find them excelling as writers,
Okay.
teachers, journalists, or anything where communication is key.
That makes sense. All right, so value through connection and the exchange of information. What about when Hora Lagna occupies the fourth house?
So here, the core values become deeply entwined with home family,
Okay.
a sense of emotional security,
Okay.
and even one's connection to their roots or national identity.
Oh, wow. So it's a very deep sense of belonging.
It is. It's about those foundational things that make us feel safe and secure.
And how do they express these values?
Well, they often prioritize investing in their homes, creating that nurturing and stable domestic environment,
Yeah.
strengthening family bonds.
It's like their wealth is their home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their sense of wealth is often more tied to this inner emotional fulfillment and the harmony of their personal space.
It's not about the external stuff. It's about that internal sense of peace.
Exactly. It's about what truly nourishes them on a deep level.
Okay, so a sense of sanctuary and emotional well-being becomes their wealth. It's beautiful, all right. Moving to the fifth house.
Okay.
This is typically associated with creativity, children, speculation.
Right. And with HL in the fifth house, what's interesting is you see this forward-thinking orientation to values.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they value creativity in its various forms.
Okay.
Their children and their well-being, education, and the pursuit of knowledge,
Okay.
and even, engaging in calculated risks.
Oh, so they're not afraid to take a chance.
Not at all. They're willing to put themselves out there.
Okay.
They often focus on investing in the future,
Makes sense.
whether it's through their own creative projects,
Yeah.
their children's upbringing and education,
Okay.
or making those strategic investments.
So it's all about potential.
It is. It's about what can be created and what can grow.
So what kind of careers might we see them in?
They might find success in fields like teaching,
Okay.
the arts, entertainment, investment management,
Yep.
where that vision and that forward-thinking approach really come into play.
It's all about creating something new and leaving a legacy.
Absolutely. It's about making a mark on the world.
Okay. Forward-looking and valuing potential. What happens when Hora Lagna lands in the sixth house? Now, this house is often associated with
Service.
sort of daily routines,
Yeah.
challenges, obstacles, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's not always the easiest house.
Not always, but it's a very important house.
Yeah.
And with HLA in the sixth house, people tend to place a high value on serving others,
Okay.
being efficient in their work and daily life, and maintaining good health.
It's like a very practical approach.
Very practical, very grounded in the day-to-day.
Okay. And how do they tend to invest their resources?
They often invest in their physical well-being,
Makes sense.
developing those organizational systems,
Yeah.
practical skills, and finding ways to be helpful and of service.
So they're like the problem solvers of the zodiac.
They are. They like to figure things out, and they want to make a tangible difference in the world.
Okay, so their wealth can come from their ability to help others?
Absolutely. They might find success in the medical field,
Okay.
technical fields or businesses that are very service-oriented.
So they find value in making things work.
They do, and they
Yeah.
also might find a sense of value in overcoming those challenges and competition. Like they thrive on a little bit of adversity.
Yeah, they're not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty.
Okay, so value through contribution and mastery of practical skills.
And
All right, let's move on to the seventh house. This is the domain of partnerships,
yes,
both personal and professional.
absolutely. And this is another significant placement in terms of wealth.
Okay.
When Hora Lagna is in the seventh house,
Yeah.
partnerships, those strong interpersonal relationships,
Mm-hmm.
collaborative efforts,
Mm-hmm.
these are all deeply valued.
So it's all about connection again, but on a different level.
Yes, it's about connection and working together to achieve something greater than you could on your own.
And how does this relate to wealth?
Well, this placement actually creates a natural dana yoga,
Oh, another Dana yoga.
another one.
Okay.
And it highlights that building and nurturing those connections with others is like this primary pathway to achieving what they value.
So it's like their relationships are their assets.
Exactly. They understand the power of collaboration.
And what kind of careers might they be drawn to?
They might excel in business partnerships,
Okay.
counseling, or mediation,
Uh-huh.
or any role that requires diplomacy
Uh-huh.
and those strong interpersonal skills.
So they're like the negotiators of the zodiac.
They are. They know how to bring people together and create win-win situations.
Okay, so wealth and value are found through connection and working together. That's powerful. All right, what about the eighth house?
Okay.
Now, this is often seen as the realm of the mysterious,
Right.
the transformative,
Mhm.
shared resources.
Yeah. And with HL in the eighth house, you see this valuation of the hidden aspects of life,
Okay.
transformative experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and shared resources like insurance or inheritance.
So it's a little bit more unconventional.
It is, it's definitely a different perspective on wealth.
Okay, and what kind of careers might they be drawn to?
Well, they might be drawn to fields like research,
Um,
insurance estate planning,
Makes sense.
managing the finances of others,
Yeah.
anything that deals with those hidden or taboo topics.
They're not afraid to go deep.
Not at all. They're fascinated by the mysteries of life and death.
So they might have a different perspective on what constitutes wealth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They might be more interested in the psychological or spiritual dimensions of wealth.
Interesting. Okay, so unconventional values and perhaps a deeper understanding of those cycles of gain and loss. Now, let's consider the ninth house. This is frequently associated with wisdom, higher learning,
Right.
spirituality.
Absolutely. And with HO in the ninth house, wisdom, the pursuit of higher education,
Okay.
spiritual growth, strong ethical and philosophical principles.
Hmm.
These are all highly valued.
So it's like the seeker's path.
It is. They're on a quest for knowledge and meaning.
Yeah.
They often invest in advanced studies travel that broadens their understanding of the world,
That makes sense.
exploring those philosophical or spiritual concepts.
But they're expanding their horizons.
They are. They're constantly seeking to learn and grow.
Okay. And what kind of careers might we see them in?
You might find them as excellent teachers,
Okay.
mentors,
Yeah.
spiritual guides, or in roles that demand ethical leadership and that broad, insightful perspective.
They're the wisdom keepers of the zodiac.
They are. They have a lot to offer in terms of guidance and inspiration.
Okay, so value through the acquisition of knowledge and a strong moral compass. All right, let's now look at the 10th house. This is
Right.
the house of career, public image, our standing in the world.
Right. And when HL occupies the 10th house, professional achievement, attaining positions of authority,
Okay.
gaining social status, these become those primary values.
That's a very ambitious placement.
It is. They're driven to succeed and make their mark on the world.
Okay. And how do they tend to invest their energy and resources?
They invest significantly in their career development,
Makes sense.
acquiring professional credentials,
Yeah.
building that strong and respected reputation in their chosen field.
So they're very career focused.
Absolutely. Their work is a central part of their identity.
Okay, and how does their concept of wealth tie into this?
Their concept of wealth is often very closely tied to the recognition and achievements they attain, not solely the financial rewards.
So it's about more than just money.
Yeah, it's about the status, the respect, the sense of accomplishment.
So wealth becomes a byproduct of achievement and public recognition. That's interesting. All right, what about the 11th house? This is the house of social networks, community involvement gains.
Right, and with the HL in the 11th house, the emphasis shifts to that value of social connections.
Okay.
active involvement in their community,
Mm-hmm.
and the pursuit of innovative ideas and group endeavors.
So it's a very collaborative and community-oriented placement.
It is. They thrive in those group settings,
Yeah.
and they're passionate about making a positive impact on the world.
Okay. And what are their core values?
They highly value their friendships and networks.
Okay.
They often invest their time and resources in group activities,
Makes sense.
technological advancements,
Uh-huh.
and social causes that they believe in.
So they're the change makers of the zodiac.
They are. They're all about progress and making a difference.
Okay. And what kind of careers might we see them in?
They might find success in nonprofit organizations,
Okay.
social enterprises,
Mm-hmm.
or in fields that leverage those large networks and forward-thinking approaches.
So they're using their connections to make a positive impact.
Absolutely. They understand that we can achieve so much more when we work together.
Okay, so value through connection to the collective and the power of innovation. All right, finally, let's explore the 12th house. This is often associated with spirituality, subconscious transcendence.
Yes. And with HL in the 12th house, you see this tendency to value privacy,
Okay.
inner peace, spiritual growth,
Uh-huh.
and those experiences that transcend the material world.
So it's a very inward-focused placement.
It is. It's about connecting with that deeper dimension of ourselves.
And how do they express these values?
They might invest in retreats,
Uh-huh.
travel to far away and perhaps secluded places,
Mm-hmm.
and engaging in spiritual practices.
So they're seeking that connection with something greater than themselves.
They're on a spiritual journey.
Okay, and what kind of careers might we see them in?
Well, fulfillment for them often comes through charitable work,
Okay.
spiritual counseling, or maybe those creative fields that allow for solitude
Makes sense.
and deep introspection.
So they're using their gifts to heal and inspire others?
They are. They're bringing light into the world in their own unique way.
Okay, so it's fascinating to see how the lens of Hora Lagna reveals such diverse value systems as it moves through the different houses.
Right.
Now, the sources also highlight how the zodiac sign occupied by Hora Lagna further influences our approach to these core values.
Yes.
So let's delve into that a little bit, starting with the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Okay, so with the fire signs,
Yeah.
what's interesting is you see that dynamic and energetic approach
Okay.
to their values. So Aries, Hora Lagna,
Yeah.
there's a strong valuing of strength-taking initiative, being a pioneer, forging new paths.
So they're the trailblazers.
They're fearless, and they're not afraid to take risks.
Okay, then what about Leo Hora Lagna?
Leo Hora Lagna emphasizes leadership, creative self-expression,
Okay.
the desire for recognition and appreciation.
They want to shine.
They do.
Mhm.
They want to be seen and acknowledged for their unique gifts.
And Sagittarius.
Sagittarius Hora Lagna is all about knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
The expansion of understanding through learning and experience a philosophical approach to life.
So they're the eternal students.
They're always seeking to expand their horizons and understand the bigger picture.
Okay, so a very active and outwardly directed way of valuing things. Now, how does this contrast with the earth signs Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn?
So the earth signs bring in that practicality and groundedness
Okay.
to their values. So Taurus Hora Lagna
Yeah.
highlights the importance of beauty in the tangible world,
Okay.
physical comfort, achieving financial stability and security.
So they're very sensual and they appreciate the finer things in life.
Yeah, they do. They value quality over quantity.
Okay, what about Virgo Hora Lagna?
Virgo Hora Lagna emphasizes precision, detailed analysis, making practical improvements in their environment and routines.
They like things to be just so.
They do. They're all about efficiency and order.
Okay, and Capricorn.
Capricorn Hora Lagna values discipline, establishing those clear structures,
Mm-hmm.
the achievement of those long-term tangible goals.
They're the builders of the zodiac.
They are. They're all about creating something lasting and substantial.
Okay, so a much more focused and materially oriented approach to what they hold dear. All right. What about the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius?
Okay, so air signs bring that intellectual and relational dimension
Okay.
to their values. So Gemini Hora Lagna values effective communication,
Uh-huh.
adaptability, versatility,
Hello?
the constant exchange of information and ideas.
They're the communicators.
They love to learn new things and share them with others.
Okay, what about Libra Hora Lagna?
Libra Hora Lagna emphasizes the importance of harmony in relationships,
Okay.
balanced perspectives,
Yeah.
aesthetic beauty, and refinement.
They're all about balance and fairness.
They seek harmony in all areas of their lives.
Okay, and Aquarius.
Aquarius Hora Lagna values innovation, humanitarian causes.
Okay.
intellectual freedom and independence.
So they're the visionaries.
They're all about progress and making the world a better place.
Okay, so a focus on intellect, relationships, and societal advancement. All right, lastly, the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces.
Okay, so water signs bring that emotional and intuitive depth
Okay.
to their values. So Cancer Hora Lagna values emotional security,
Uh-huh.
providing nurturing care to loved ones, strong family connections and traditions.
They're the nurturers of the zodiac.
They're all about creating a safe and loving environment.
Okay, what about Scorpio Hora Lagna?
Scorpio Hora Lagna emphasizes the importance of intensity and experiences,
Okay.
the process of transformation and deep psychological
Some of them
understanding.
aren't afraid to go deep.
Not at all. They're fascinated by the complexities of human nature.
Okay, and Pisces.
Pisces Hora Lagna values spiritual connection, compassion for others, artistic and imaginative expression.
They're the dreamers of the zodiac.
They're highly sensitive and intuitive.
Okay, so the sign that Hora Lagna occupies really colors the way we approach and express those core values.
It adds that extra layer of nuance.
Yeah, it's like adding a filter to the lens.
Exactly. It's fine-tuning our understanding of how those values manifest in our lives.
Okay, now the sources also underscore the significant role of planetary influences on our Hora Lagna,
Right.
specifically the planet that rules the sign where HL is placed,
Yes.
known as the HL Lord,
HL Lord.
and any other planets that are conjunct to HL in the chart.
Right. So this adds this crucial layer of nuance
Okay.
to understanding your individual value system.
All right, so let's break that down a little bit.
Okay.
What happens if, for example, the sun is your Hora Lagna Lord, or if the sun is conjunct your HL?
Well, if the sun is involved,
Yeah.
you might place a high value on authority recognition,
Okay.
even your connections to government or father figures.
So it's like that paternal energy.
Yeah, it is. It's about taking charge and being in a position of leadership.
And how might this influence their path to wealth?
Their path to acquiring what they value might involve taking on those leadership roles
Makes sense.
or pursuing opportunities that bring visibility and respect.
So they want to be seen as the authority.
They do. They want to be recognized for their expertise and their contributions.
Okay, so the value of authority and being recognized. What if the moon is involved as the HL Lord or conjunct HL?
With the moon, emotional satisfaction,
Okay.
gaining public approval or recognition, connections to maternal figures.
So it's a softer, more nurturing energy.
It is. It's about connecting with the emotions of others.
Okay, and how might this influence their pursuit of what they value?
Well, they might find that they pursue what they value through ventures that resonate with the emotional needs of others,
Makes sense.
or they have that strong public appeal.
So they're appealing to the heart.
They're tapping into those deep emotional currents.
Okay, so the value of emotional resonance and connection with the public. What about Mars?
If Mars is involved,
Yeah.
you likely place a high value on courage, physical strength,
Okay.
taking decisive action,
So it's a very assertive energy.
very assertive, very driven.
Okay. And how might this influence their approach to achieving what they value?
Well, they might find that their approach involves competitive fields,
Okay.
physical activities,
Makes sense.
anything that requires initiative and that bold, energetic approach.
You're not afraid of a challenge.
Not at all. They thrive on it.
Okay, so value through direct action and a willingness to compete. What if Mercury plays a significant role with Hora Lagna?
Mercury's influence highlights the value of intellect,
Okay.
clear communication,
Uh-huh.
adaptability.
So it's a very mental energy.
Very mental, very quick-witted.
Okay. And how might this influence their approach to creating and accumulating what they value?
They might find that they do it through writing,
Okay.
trading, teaching any field that requires that mental agility, and the effective exchange of information.
So they're the wordsmiths of the zodiac.
They're skilled with language and they know how to use it to their advantage.
Okay, so value through intellect and the power of communication. What about the expansive influence of Jupiter?
With Jupiter,
Yeah. Yeah.
wisdom, personal and spiritual growth,
Okay.
adhering to ethical principles, these are all important.
So it's a very benevolent energy.
Very benevolent, very expansive.
Okay, and how might this influence their path to acquiring what they value?
Their path might involve teaching,
Okay.
mentoring, working with religious or philanthropic organizations,
Uh-huh.
or developing those large-scale business ventures
Okay.
rooted in ethical and expansive principles.
They want to make a positive impact on the world.
They do. They're driven by a sense of purpose and a desire to contribute to something greater than themselves.
Okay, so value through wisdom, ethical conduct, and fostering growth. What about the harmonious planet, Venus?
Venus,
Yeah.
Beauty, harmony in relationships, pleasure and enjoyment in life.
Yeah. So it's a very sensual and relationship-oriented energy.
It is. It's about appreciating the finer things in life and connecting with others on a heart level.
Okay. And how might this influence their pursuit of what they value?
They might pursue and attain what they value through the arts,
Okay.
luxury goods or services,
Mm-hmm.
building those strong and harmonious relationships,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
any enterprise that brings aesthetic satisfaction and joy to themselves and others.
They want to create beauty and harmony in the world.
They do. They have a refined sense of taste,
Yeah.
and they want to share it with others.
Okay, so value through beauty connection and the pursuit of pleasure. What about the discipline planet Saturn?
Saturn,
Yeah,
discipline, structure, hard work, endurance.
so it's a more serious energy.
Yeah, it's about taking responsibility and putting in the effort.
Okay, and how might this influence their approach to accumulating what they value?
They might find that they accumulate what they value through long-term investments,
Okay,
real estate or businesses that require patience,
makes sense.
perseverance, and
Ah.
that structured approach.
They're in it for the long haul.
They're not looking for quick fixes. They're building something solid and enduring.
Okay, so value through perseverance, responsibility, and building a solid foundation. Now, what about the lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu? How do they influence our Hora Lagna?
So the nodes bring kind of a different flavor
Yeah.
to the valuation process.
Yeah.
Rahu's involvement with Hora Lagna
Yeah.
often creates this strong desire for unconventional things
Okay.
and unorthodox ways of accumulating wealth.
So they might be drawn to things that are outside the norm.
They're not afraid to break the rules.
Okay. And how might this manifest?
It can sometimes lead to a degree of confusion or insatiable desire regarding what truly constitutes wealth
Okay.
and the best way to manage it.
So they might have to be careful about getting lost in the pursuit of unconventional wealth.
Exactly. They need to stay grounded and connected to their core values.
Okay. What about Ketu?
Ketu, on the other hand,
Yeah.
can bring this sense of spiritual detachment
Okay.
and even ambivalence towards material possessions
Uh-huh.
and those traditional forms of wealth.
So they might not be as driven by material success.
They might not, for them, wealth might be seen primarily as a tool for spiritual liberation or for charitable giving.
They're not attached to things.
They're more interested in the spiritual dimension of life.
Okay, so it's interesting how the planets essentially add their own lens to what we deem valuable and how we pursue it.
Right. It's like each planet is offering its own unique perspective on wealth.
Yeah, it's like a cosmic team effort.
Exactly. It's all about understanding the interplay of these different energies.
Okay, now the sources also discuss ways in which we can strengthen our Hora Lagna.
Yeah.
What are some of the key factors that contribute to a strong HL?
So the strength of the Hora Lagna Lord in your birth chart is paramount
Okay,
for the effective manifestation of your core values.
makes sense. So the stronger the HL Lord, the more likely we are to achieve what we value.
Exactly. And the sources highlight several contributing factors. Firstly, if your HL Lord is placed in its sign of exaltation or in its own sign,
Okay.
this indicates that natural strength,
Yeah.
and that inherent ability to manifest what you deeply value.
So it's like it's already got a head start.
It does. It's got that extra boost of power.
Okay, what else?
The placement of the HL Lord in auspicious houses from your ascendant,
Okay.
like the first, 4th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th, or 11th,
Mhm.
this also strengthens its positive influence.
So it's all about the house placement.
House placement is key. It's about creating that supportive environment for those values to flourish.
Okay. And what about planetary aspects?
Receiving beneficial aspects from well-placed planets like Jupiter, Venus, or a strong moon can also